We was on a family picnic when I was 7 years old, and I was throwing the ball with my dog down beside the bushes and all that, some trees. And I've thrown my ball and it just disappeared, and it bounced on a rock and then sort of rolled off, and I couldn't find it. So I wandered off. And when I went and found it, I heard some noises. So being a curious person, you would look, and I approached into the bushes, and then I woke up. Well, I come to it and I was back at the family barbecue, and I have no idea to this day what happened then, but I believe that was the first time I was abducted by aliens.
Over the years, there have been countless reports of alien abductions, but how many of these have actually ever been proved to be true or false? A friend of mine has agreed to sit down with us and tell us his story. Whether you choose to believe him or not, I'll leave that to you to decide.
Apparently I was fine. I was maybe a little bit different afterwards. I'm not sure what they meant by it. Could have something to do with that I stopped eating breakfast in the morning. That was slightly it, but I apparently was all fine, and they never really said anything about it. Just a bad dream. When I grew older, I thought maybe it was just a dream, because we all have some sort of weird things that we can't explain happen to us. And I just eventually didn't think about it anymore, but since then I have more reasons to believe what actually happened that day. Next time I was in school, and we had this room, right, and it was down the staircase, and I can't really explain the use of the room. It was like a storeroom, but it wasn't. It was just filled with all types of things, but I can't explain what it was. It was just some room of the school that never really got used. And I heard noises in there one day, so I went in. And as I was walking through, and it was quite a large room under the school, and as I was approaching the back, the door shut behind me, and I thought it was obviously kids messing with me. So as I went to unlock the door, I couldn't open the door or anything. And then I started slamming, and then the noise behind me gradually got bigger and bigger. And as I've turned around, all I seen was just this hand. It wasn't a hand like us, but they had fingers with their nails were like needle prints at the end, just long and sharp. And it sort of just went over my face. And then the next thing I remember was back in PE at the end of the day. And it was once again, it seemed like nothing had happened for the rest of the people. Like they had no knowledge of this, and I'm not sure, but something else happened that day. In the events of the first two, I found college a lot more easier and a lot more better to start making friends. And either that being, it's more of a place, more open, more bigger than a little country school where everyone is friends or you're not, and you're put into the castaways. I only had a couple of good teachers that throughout the years I really got down with, and who I knew and trusted enough to talk to. But even them, they didn't really. I think they contacted Mum. I thought maybe I was a little bit off, but the experiences seemed too real, too believable, that nobody else seen them. And in my head, I didn't know if I was going crazy, but the way how I had to present myself in the end to get through society and all that was to put on a facade and just deal with it. And if I found somebody that would believe me, then I could tell them. But too many people don't believe in.
Look, I believe that there's a massive universe out there. Somewhere out there, there's probably similar environment to Earth. Is there bacteria growing elsewhere? Maybe. Is there life form as advanced as human life? Probably. we've made it to the moon, and we really didn't do much there for very long, once in history. So yeah, I don't think that they've got the technological advancement, if they even exist, to come all the way to here. I mean, when you think about how much technology would be involved in that, how much energy would be involved in coming there, you'd think they'd be doing more when they get here than just examining Matt and a couple of other people like Matt. And that's no insult to Matt. I can't imagine wanting to talk to me either.
Well, most people just say bullshit. You're trying to have a laugh, sort of thing. Some people call you nutter. Either some people believe you, or they're being what's the word? Patronising. They patronise you. It wasn't a dream or anything. It happened. I know that I was taken that day by something that we can't really explain, or at least that there's no real evidence of, but the next time was the time when I seen them. There was a light in the sky prior, or during this, but it just seemed like an odd light. So, I'm not sure. And next thing, my car sort of just died. And as I've got out and investigate, trying to work out why my car just suddenly stopped. I had fuel. It didn't seem like the engine. I was there and I heard noises. I had no cell phone service or nothing. I was alone. And I popped my bonnet. I've had a look in there. Nothing seemed out of ordinary. And then everything sort of seemed, you know the feeling when you feel like you're being sort of watched or something else is around? It was like that. I knew I was in the presence of something. And then as I was hopping back in my car trying to figure out what to do, that's when everything went black and I woke up into another room tied to a chair. But I don't believe I was on a spaceship. I believe I was on a different planet somewhere. But as where I was, I really don't know, but I don't believe it was a spaceship. I think I would prefer it never to happen again, but I very rarely go out. When I do, it's always with somebody, and I very straight past going out on my own. I don't know if it could ever happen again. I don't want it to happen again, but I don't think they're going to stop anytime soon, either with me or with anybody else that they hold interest to. For the people out there that are trying to get their story across, people need to be more open, because there's so much in our own life and in our own world today that we can't explain, that's just a general occurrences.